Two HOA thugs banged on my door, yelling threats at my wife and son over a mailbox they didn't like. They thought they could scare us. Big mistake. I'm a professional MMA fighter and I don't back down from bullies. Before we start the story, comment please from which country are you watching, also subscribe the channel. It was a Saturday morning, the kind where the sun's warm and the air smells like fresh grass. I was in the garage wrapping my hands for a training session, my knuckles still sore from last week's sparring. My wife, Lisa, was in the kitchen making pancakes with our 10-year-old son Jake. I could hear them laughing, Jake teasing her about flipping the pancakes too high. Our house sits on a quiet acre, a place we worked hard for. It's our home, our safe spot. Or it was until the HOA decided they owned us. I heard tires crunch outside and peeked through the garage window. A black SUV with an HOA sticker parked at our gate. Two men got out, both big, wearing tight polos and holding clipboards. They didn't walk, they strutted like they were untouchable. One had a shaved head and a neck tattoo. The other was broader, with a crooked nose like it had been broken too many times. Trouble doesn't just show up, it announces itself, and these guys were screaming it. "Lisa," I called, stepping out of the garage. "Keep Jake inside." She appeared at the door, her apron dusted with flour. "What's going on, Matt?" Before I could answer, the men banged on our front door, hard enough to rattle the frame. "Open up," the tattooed guy shouted. "Your mailbox is out of code. Fix it, or we fine you $1,000. Lisa's face tightened. She's tough, runs her own bakery, but I saw her hand shake as she held the doorframe. Jake peeked out, his eyes wide. "Dad, who are they?" "Stay there," I said, my voice calm but my blood boiling. I walked to the door, opening it just enough to face them. "You're on my property. Back off." The tattooed guy smirked. "We're HOA. We don't need permission." He stepped closer, his clipboard poking my chest. "Your mailbox is 2 inches too tall. Fix it by tomorrow or we take your house." I laughed, not because it was funny but because he thought he could threaten me. I'm 6 feet 2 inches, 200 pounds with a 15-2 MMA record. I've knocked out guys bigger than him in the cage. "You're not taking anything," I said. "Get out." The broad guy cracked his knuckles. "You're tough, huh? How tough when we show up at night? Maybe we talk to your wife instead." He looked past me at Lisa, his eyes lingering too long. "Or your kid." Jake whimpered, grabbing Lisa's hand. Her face went pale, but she pulled him behind her. "Don't you dare," she said, her voice sharp. That's when I stepped outside, closing the door behind me. "You threaten my family again, you won't walk away." The tattooed guy laughed. "Big words. We'll be back, fighter boy." They turned, strolling back to their SUV like they'd won. I watched them drive off, my fists clenched so tight my knuckles ached. Lisa opened the door, her arms around Jake. "Matt, what was that?" "They're HOA enforcers," I said. "Bullies with clipboards. But they crossed a line." Jake looked up, his voice small. "Are they gonna hurt us, Dad?" I knelt, meeting his eyes. "No one's hurting you. I promise." That night I couldn't sit still. Lisa put Jake to bed, but he kept his light on, scared. She sat with me on the couch, her hands twisting in her lap. "They threatened us over a mailbox, Matt." "A mailbox? What's next?" "They're testing us," I said. "But I'm not some guy they can push around. I fight for a living. This is my cage now." The next morning a letter arrived, slid under our door. It demanded we replace the mailbox or pay a $1,000 fine by Monday. I tore it up. "They're not getting a dime," I told Lisa. She nodded, but her eyes were worried. "Just be careful." "Jake's scared." "I'm scared." I hugged her. "I'll fix this. They don't know who they're messing with." I called my gym buddy, Tony, a private investigator who's helped me dig up dirt on shady fight promoters. "Tony, I need you to look into some HOA goons. They're threatening my family." "Send me names, descriptions," he said. "I'll find something." I described the two men, tattoo guy and broken nose. Tony got back to me that afternoon. The tattooed one's Vince Russo, ex-con, did time for assault. The other's Carl Dempsey, bounced from a security firm for roughing up clients. They work for Karen Price, HOA president. She's got a rep for hiring muscle to scare people. "What about the HOA?" I asked. "Shady as hell," Tony said. "They've fined half the neighborhood into debt. I'm pulling records. Keep your eyes open." I wasn't just keeping my eyes open, I was ready to fight. I set up a security camera by the gate, one that records 24/7. If they came back, I'd have proof. Jake helped me test it, his smile returning as we played with the app. "This is cool, Dad," he said. But the thugs didn't wait long. Monday morning they were back, banging on the door at 6 a.m. Lisa was still in her pajamas, Jake eating cereal. I opened the door, my body blocking the entrance. Told you to stay away, I said. Vince grinned, holding a new letter. You didn't pay the fine. Now it's $2,000. And we're inspecting your yard. He tried to push past me, his shoulder bumping mine. I grabbed his arm, twisting it behind his back in a quick arm lock. He yelped, dropping the clipboard. Carl lunged, swinging a fist. I ducked, letting Vince go, and caught Carl with a jab to the chest. He stumbled, gasping. Get off my land, I said, my voice steady. Next time I won't hold back. They scrambled to their SUV, Vince rubbing his arm. You'll regret this, he shouted. I recorded it all on my phone, plus the camera caught every second. Lisa hugged me, shaking. You okay? Yeah, I said. But they're not done. Jake ran out, his eyes wide. Dad, you're like a superhero. I ruffled his hair. Just doing my job, buddy. Tony called that night. Got something big. Karen's been skimming HOA fees for personal use. Those thugs? She pays them under the table to intimidate anyone who complains. I've got bank records and texts. Send it to me, I said. And find a lawyer who hates HOAs. Tony connected me with Sarah, a lawyer who'd taken down corrupt HOAs before. This is a slam dunk, she said after seeing the evidence. Trespassing, threats, embezzlement. We'll sue them for harassment and fraud. Get me witness statements from your family. Lisa wrote a statement about the threats, how Vince's words made her feel unsafe. Jake drew a picture of the men banging on the door, his crayons shaking as he described their yelling. I added my own statement, detailing every encounter, backed by the videos. But the HOA escalated. Wednesday night, I caught Carl sneaking onto our property, pouring sugar in my truck's gas tank. I tackled him, pinning him to the ground with a chokehold. Who sent you? I growled. Karen, he gasped. She said ruin your truck. I let him up, recording his confession. Tell Karen she's done. He ran off, leaving his flashlight behind. I called the police, filing a vandalism report. The cop, a fan of my fights, took it seriously. We'll look into this HOA, he said. Sarah used Carl's confession to file a criminal complaint against Karen, Vince, and Carl. We're not just suing, she said. We're shutting them down. The next day I saw the SUV parked across the street, Vince watching us. I walked out, staring him down. He drove off, but I knew they were planning something. I told Lisa and Jake to stay with her mom for a few days. I'm ending this, I said. Lisa kissed me. Don't do anything stupid, Matt. I won't, I said. I'm fighting smart. I rallied the neighborhood. At a meeting in my backyard, 20 neighbors showed up, angry about HOA fines and threats. Mrs. Lopez said they fined her $500 for a birdhouse. Mr. Chin said Vince keyed his car when he questioned a fee. A kid named Mia said Carl yelled at her for skateboarding. We're stronger together, I said. Let's take back our homes. Sarah helped us file a petition to dissolve the HOA, citing fraud and abuse. We needed signatures, so I went door to door sharing our story. People signed, some crying as they told me their own HOA nightmares. Jake made flyers, drawing a fist smashing an HOA logo. You're famous, Dad, he said, grinning. The court date came fast. Sarah presented our case. My videos of the threats, Carl's confession, Tony's financial records showing Karen's theft. Lisa testified, her voice strong. They scared my son. They made us feel like prisoners in our home. I took the stand looking at Karen. She sat stiffly, her blonde hair perfect, her eyes cold. I'm an MMA fighter, I said. I'm trained to protect. When those thugs threatened my family, I didn't just fight back. I built a case. They thought they could bully us. They were wrong. Sarah played the video of Vince and Carl at our door, Vince's threat clear. Maybe we talk to your kid. The courtroom gasped. Jake's drawing was shown, his shaky lines making the judge's face soften. Karen's lawyer claimed it was a misunderstanding, but the judge wasn't buying it. This HOA hired criminals to terrorize residents, she said. Miss Price, you're personally liable for $150,000 in damages to the Thompsons for harassment and emotional distress. The HOA is dissolved, effective immediately. Karen's jaw dropped. Vince and Carl faced criminal charges for vandalism and assault. The courtroom cheered as the judge banned them from the neighborhood. We celebrated at home, Jake eating pancakes, Lisa smiling for the first time in weeks. You did it, she said. We did it, I corrected. All of us. The aftermath was bigger than I expected. The day after the ruling, our story hit the local news. MMA fighter takes down corrupt HOA. Reporters camped outside our house wanting interviews. I didn't want the spotlight, but Lisa convinced me. People need to know they can fight back, she said. We sat down with a journalist telling her everything: Vince and Carl's threats, Jake's fear, the courtroom win. Jake showed her his flyer, the fist smashing the HOA logo. I drew it to show we're strong, he said. The story aired that night, and by morning it was everywhere. Online, people shared it with hashtags like #NoMoreHOA and #FightTheBullies. My fight record got dug up, and fans posted clips of my knockouts, calling me the HOA Slayer. The neighborhood changed fast. With the HOA gone, we formed a community council led by volunteers. Mrs. Lopez put up 3 more birdhouses, each brighter than the last. Mr. Chin fixed his car and parked it proudly in his driveway. Mia and her friends turned the cul-de-sac into a skate park, their laughter echoing every evening. Jake started sleeping with his light off, his nightmares fading. But it wasn't just our street. Our story sparked a movement. A week after the news broke, I got calls from strangers in other towns, asking how we dissolved our HOA. A family in Texas said their HOA fined them $2,000 for a shed. They used our petition as a guide and won. A retiree in Florida emailed, thanking us for inspiring her to sue her HOA for fraud. Sarah set up a website, sharing our legal documents and tips for fighting HOAs. It got thousands of hits in days. Lisa took it further. She organized a town hall, inviting every neighbor and the mayor. Over 100 people showed up, sharing stories of HOA abuse, fines for kids' toys, threats over unmowed lawns, even a disabled veteran fined for a wheelchair ramp. I spoke last, my voice steady. We beat the HOA because we fought together. Let's make sure no one else lives in fear. The mayor listened, promising new laws to limit HOA power. Jake stood beside me holding a new sign, "Homes, not rules." The crowd cheered, and for the first time I felt like more than a fighter, I was a leader. Jake changed too. He'd always been shy, but the fight gave him courage. He started a kids' self-defense class at the community center, teaching punches I'd shown him. "If bad guys come, I'll protect Mom," he told me, his fists up. I laughed, but my chest swelled with pride. Lisa joined the community council, using her business skills to organize block parties and fundraisers. Her bakery donated cakes for every event, and kids called her Pancake Mom. Karen vanished. Her house sold in a week, the sign gone before anyone noticed. Word spread she moved out of state, her reputation ruined. Vince and Carl's trials were quick. Vince got 2 years for assault and vandalism, Carl 1 year. Their mugshots were plastered online, a warning to other bullies. 6 months later, I was training in the garage when Jake ran in, holding Lisa's phone. "Dad, look." It was a national news story, HOA reform sweeps country, inspired by MMA fighters battle. It mentioned us, showing Jake's flyer and Lisa's town hall. The reporter said over 20 HOAs had been dissolved nationwide, with new laws proposed in 10 states. Our fight wasn't just ours anymore, it was changing lives. That night, we sat on the porch, the mailbox gleaming under the moon. It was still 2 inches too tall, our little rebellion. Lisa leaned against me, her hand in mine. "I'm proud of you, Matt. You didn't just protect us, you gave people hope." I kissed her. "Couldn't have done it without you." Jake ran out, holding a new drawing, our family, fists raised, an HOA sign broken at our feet. "This is us," he said, grinning. "The strongest team." I hugged them both, the stars bright above. I'm an MMA fighter. I win in the cage, but my real victory is here. My family safe, my neighborhood free, my fight inspiring others. The HOA thought they could scare us. They learned what happens when you mess with a fighter's home.